The 5 most expensive horses of all time. When it comes to buying horses, you can expect to spend quite a bit, especially if you want quality. Generally speaking, horses are expensive to buy and they're even more expensive to own. However, certain breeds of horses often cost a lot more money than others. There is even a great deal of variation within specific breeds, as a horse with certain bloodlines might be considered to be worth far more than a horse that's less noteworthy. Regardless of how you look at it, there's nothing cheap about owning a horse, especially when you're talking about horses that are within the upper echelons of their chosen sport. If you really think of an expensive horse, consider race horses are those that are involved in events such as show jumping or dressage. In this video is a list of 5 of the most expensive horses of all time. You might want to sit down before you watch this video, because if you're not already somewhat familiar with the horse world, you're going to be absolutely shocked at the amount of money people are willing to spend on a good horse. The thing that's really unnerving is that when they spend all this money, they often don't have any idea whether or not that horse is really going to be any good at whatever it was purchased to do. Despite all the science that goes into studying bloodlines and other types of characteristics, it's still a very big risk when purchasing a horse and hoping that it is successful enough to recoup all the money that was spent on its purchase. Before that, make sure you subscribe Gideon Films Top 5 and press the bell icon so that you don't miss our upcoming videos. 5. Palloubet de Halong, $15 million. This horse had a reputation as one of the best show jumpers that ever existed. He was purchased by the leader of the Qatar jumping team, to become part of that country's arsenal in an attempt to win a gold medal during the Olympics. There you have it. If you've ever dreamed of owning a horse but thought that the entire prospect was just too expensive, you probably never dreamed just how expensive it can really get. Granted, most horses don't cost anywhere near this much, but if you have aspirations of competing in any kind of sport involving horses of the highest caliber, get ready to shell out more than a few dollars in order to get your hands on one. 4. The Green Monkey, $16 million. It's hard to believe, but this thoroughbred colt sold for this amount of money before he ever even reached racing age. Mostly, he was viewed to be worth such a large sum of money because of his bloodlines, being a descendant of prolific racehorse Northern Dancer. In other words, his owners were basing his probable success on the track off of his family lineage alone. As is often the case, he never did well in his races, and after only 3 starts, he was retired to stud. 3. Totilas, $21 million. This stunning black stallion with 4 white socks and a blaze was hands down the best dressage horse that has ever existed. In fact, he and his rider scored higher in dressage competition than any other horse has ever managed in the sport. Unfortunately, as he grew older, he started to have problems with a lot of different injuries and was eventually retired to stud. Unfortunately, some people have reported that the horse might have also been abused, especially during his later years. However, those reports have not been widely substantiated. 2. Shareef Dancer, $40 million. This is another thoroughbred. Having rather historic bloodlines, the people that bought him hoped that he would do great things on the track. As it turned out, he was never really able to live up to his ancestry during his races, experiencing only a relative amount of success. With that being said, he did go on to produce some rather talented race horses as a sire. Before we go to number 1, make sure you subscribe our channel, and press the bell icon so that you don't miss our upcoming videos. 1. Fusaichi Pegasus, $70 million. This is a stunning amount of money to spend on anything, much less a horse, when you don't have any idea if they're really going to be successful or stay healthy. This thoroughbred colt was purchased for a larger sum of money than most people will ever see throughout their entire lifetime. During his racing career, he did fairly well, winning roughly 70% of the time. While he wasn't able to reproduce himself as a stallion, his stud career hasn't been a total failure, either. Today, he stands at stud at a thoroughbred farm in Kentucky. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and a comment below, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel.